Imagine spending years writing your debut novel, getting offered $2 million in a publishing deal, and then having it ripped away from you because of accusations of you using AI. That's exactly what happened with this author, and unfortunately, it has led to my decision to only write my books in Google Docs. Now, this is such a huge topic in the writing community. Google Docs, of course, has given access to Gemini for AI training, and I don't think you can opt out of it. So, whenever you use Google Docs, you're kind of training AI based on your own works, which is kind of a vicious loop that we're stuck in because, of course, that's going to lead to more accusations of using AI. Let's take the example of this author. If you haven't heard the story already, this author's name is Jerry Falade, and he wrote his first novel, super excited for him. He was offered $2 million for his debut novel, and that is life changing money. However, for some reason, there were accusations of him using AI, so they ran his book through an AI checker. And of course, the AI checker said this book was written by AI. Now, here's where the problem is. If you keep running people's books through AI checker, you're training AI to look at patterns in everyone's books. It can say a specific phrase is AI because it's read it already and it's going to use it to actually write its own text. Now, AI is used across several industries, marketers, uh, writers, literally everyone is using AI to edit even their emails. Now, if AI is touching everything and is being trained on everything, how do we know it actually knows how to check if something is written by AI? Its purpose is to become more human like so it can eventually take over our jobs. So if it's seeing everything as AI because it's being trained off of it, how do we know if something is truly written by a human or an AI? Another great example of this is someone ran Mary Shelley's Frankenstein through AI and it said it was entirely written by AI. That book came out in like 1818. I don't know if Mary Shelley can time travel. Apparently she can because her book was written by AI. And you know what? This isn't just a problem for authors. This is also a problem for teachers and students. A student could sit there and write their essay, and if a teacher runs it through AI checker and it returns that it's 98% written by AI, they're going to be failed. And in some extreme cases, if they're in college, they could be expelled for plagiarism. However, like I said, AI checkers are not reliable. So you're ruining people's lives based on an AI that often gets caught hallucinating facts. This also goes for researchers and journalists. And I'm not saying we shouldn't use AI in its entirety. It's a great tool, but it is a tool that we need to take with a grain of salt because AI often hallucinates facts. It'll say something happened that didn't happen. And when you correct it, it just says, oh, my bad, you're correct. We're heading to a very dangerous area where we'll never believe someone has a bit of creativity in them. No imagination. You assume everyone's using AI. And honestly, there are some writers out there that have created and published entirely written by AI books. But you can tell exactly who those people are. I'm sorry to say. Their books do not sound natural at all. They're more so of a copy and paste of certain tropes. The dialogue makes no sense. So yes, there is a concern about AI books. However, falsely accusing and going on a witch hunt for people who use AI is not the solution here. So what exactly is the solution? Not only do I think we have to protect ourselves as creators by clearly showing our work and our decision making processes, but also I think people in the industry need to stop using AI checker and do manual checks. And I know people hate the word manual now because everything is supposed to be fast, quick, and in a hurry. But The only way to check if something is really, truly, and be confident that something was written in AI is to sit down and read it. It does not flow naturally. You can read it yourself and see this doesn't make sense. This is no way has this been written by a human. Now, another issue with this whole AI checker situation is that people have been noticing that the authors who are accused of using AI to write their books are primarily people of color. Now, I'm not saying AI is racist. I'm saying that people seem to have an issue believing that people of color can write a book in its entirety by themselves and thus decide, I think you did it through AI and run it through AI checker. However, like I previously stated, AI checkers are not reliable. And in fact, with you feeding their work into the AI checker, it's going to make it harder for the next person to be believed when they say they wrote their book in by themselves. In the case of Jerry Falade, he asserts that he wrote this entirely by himself, no use of AI. But how exactly are you able to prove this now? That is the question. And it's a super hard question. I hope he's able to prove this and be believed. But honestly, if Simon and Schuster, which is I believe the publishing house that initially offered him the deal and then rescinded it, if they have any suspicion that AI was used, I don't think they'll backtrack and re-offer the deal. Even if he's able to prove through historical saves in whatever platform he used, Word or Google Docs, that he wrote this himself. It's super heartbreaking and it honestly has made me think so much about my own writing. I used to use Google Docs religiously, always afraid that if I my laptop died one day I'd lose all my work. However, I stopped once the AI boom started because I realized Google Docs is giving access to Gemini without my permission to review my books and train their AI on it. But now we're at the point where we need to be able to prove that you wrote every single sentence in your book, or else it's going to cause problems for you. So, what do? You have to go back to Google Docs at that point because Google Docs has the ability to show, dating back forever, when you made certain edits, what you edited, and it's a great historical tool to show who made what edits and when. It is still heartbreaking that I have to go back to this because I really don't want AI looking at my work. But unfortunately, I think that's the only option I have right now. But let me know what you guys think. What tools are you using? Have you removed your works from any online platform that allows AI to use your work? And what do you think about AI checkers? Honestly, I feel like we need to do away with them. You can kind of tell reading a work if it's been written by AI because it does not sound natural at all. But I want to hear from the experts. What do you guys think? And don't forget to hit that follow, subscribe, whatever button, and I'll be back.